We got a lot to talk about here today. We're going to hear from President Biden. We're also going to hear about new $500 check coming out here that a lot of people may be qualified for. First of all, here directly from President. A person asked, President Biden made a short trip to Kilkenny, Virginia yesterday, where he said to need a lower prescription drug prices. President Biden, we pay the highest per trip prescription drug prices of any developed nation in the world. The highest event is the United States of America, for God's sake. It simply is wrong, especially since it doesn't cost the drug company nearly to make a drug or research that went into the idea. You can charge whatever you want. This is not going to happen in the United States of American leagues. She said. President appeared alongside Democratic Congresswoman who have made drug cost one of the key issues in her re-election campaign, and the Congresswoman joins us now to talk about the day after day and that fight. The man said, Joe is going to really talk about a lot of things, like for instance, your decision that's standing next to Joe Biden. When other people have another price, the price for insulin have skyrocketed. Let me say for no reason at all. No market, driver list, and other than massive profits. I can afford to pay that, I can afford to carry that. But so many people who know that I have to sign with the tie of the DFPs come up to me and they just feel despair. And they like we are having to use old insulin where we are not able to pay some bills and we are in the financial threat because our budget is so high for infant. So let me say it's a crime, and I just want to know what is Joe Biden going to do, what are we going to do, and what is Congress going to do to stop this good stuff for families who are already suffering with the diabetes. She said, well, my priority, and certainly since I was the first elected, has been to work on lowering the cost of prescription drugs, and in the House, we've passed numerous pieces for legislation. I will have bills focused on transparency with the pharmacy benefit managers, because so much of what happens with drug prices happens out behind the subcurrent. I worked on the legislation related to the 340p program to ensure that the federally qualified health clinics and hospitals that serve underinsured can get prescription drug necessary to treat their patients. But the specific of what we are talking about, diabetes who required insurance, is across the board. No matter where I am, what I'm doing, people will put me aside and talk about this anecdotally. And a couple months ago, I was prepared for the campaign event. I went to go and say hello to the folks of the Republican folks, introduce myself and say hello. And one of the gentlemen followed me away to say, participating in the Republican vote, follow me away to say, please keep doing what you are doing to lower prescription drug cost. My child is diabetic. So what we are working on, what I'm working on, one, I'm continuing to push our HR 3, and we don't see the path of the Senate for that bill. I could allow Medicare to negotiate this prescription drug cost and then apply and convince that those cost-saving-based competition to private insurers, and then the element of the lowering cost for prescription drugs that we passed as part of large Build Back Better framework. I'm arguing my colleague to let's work on that. Certainly, there's been a lot of consternation about and what could or could not get passed in the Senate. But the one thing that so far we haven't seen much debate over whether or not we could pass what passed out the House and what was pre-negotiated with the Senate, which would not only allow Medicare to negotiate many of most expensive prescription drugs, could also put a cap on Medicare prescription drug copays for the seniors and put a cap on the copay that Americans across country pay for their insulin. As you heard her say, they are one of the major issues or major provisions in the Build Back Better package was lowering the cost of the prescription drug prices for over 100 million Americans for dozens and dozens of the prescription drugs. Also, this could lower the out-of-pocket costs for people on Medicaid. And again, this could just save people hundreds or thousands of dollars on the yearly basis. So this were posted to passport, but the Senator John Manchin and Person Sinema just weren't ready to give their vote for this. So remember, this passed in the House and basically have 48 out of 50 Democrats ready to pass it. There wasn't any Republicans willing to vote for this as well, and we'll see what is going to make it from Build Back Better into the new Build Back Better, and what type of the stimulus provisions will be into the new Build Back Better. Will prescription lowering the cost of the prescription drug pricings? Remember that the medical costs are one of the largest costs for Americans, and we have the recent report that said something like over 150 million Americans are in debt because of medical costs, and it's one of the largest factors for Americans here on the daily basis. For lack of better word, Republicans have just basically been voting no on almost everything, and it's for failures. Democrats did a lot of this, and the Republicans control the House and the Senate and the presidencies under former President Donald Trump. We see this a lot of historically when one party controls everything. The party is minority, which right now in Republicans because Democrats control everything in the House. Senate the president says the party in minority doesn't want to politically give wings to the party controlling everything. So we see this a lot historically. So lately, Republicans has been a little bit standoffish. And other kind of the problem here is that the Democrats need John Manchin and Kristen Sinema to pass the bill by the better package. But John Manchin say he's coming around and he might be willing to pass this next stimulus package. And so we all have to see what happens with that. And I keep you updated here as they are going to rebrand and rebuild this next stimulus package, as well as we have dozens of states issuing news, some state stimulus checks, 2 state stimulus packages, and to have budget surpluses. And we are going through different states that are announcing more stimulus checks, stimulus packages, as well as the SNAP additional bonuses and pandemic EBT bonuses. And there have been a lot of that here as well. Keep you updated with that as well. And now we have to another state considering another $500 stimulus check. The governor proposing giving half of the state budget surplus right back to taxpayers through the one-time check, and we are about the $500 is being the Congress has the reaction from the Republicans and from the everyday managed. And one of the biggest proposals from the last night, the standard of the state address, is to get half of the state surplus money right back to in the taxpayers. This give the back by direct checks to the people will amount to about $500 a person. The governor plan taken strength from the Republicans, including Representative Sully Magnet, who first floated the plan in an interview with the News 8 back in January. Our goal has been put at least half of it to go back to manners, and we need to have them get through this difficult period. So we are pleased that she endorsed that the $411 million meant we spoke today, and we are even more pleased. Tax money comes from the people, so if this extra to go back to the people, the plan does have it destroyers. However, the main center of economic policy relieves the statement saying the money should go to funding initiatives like paying family leave instead of those who may not need the money. Representative Millen himself is for the governor's other proposals. He says could create longer-term strain on the state finances. We just need to be sure that we are not creating brand new programs that will have the permanent demand on the revenues of the state when those revenues maybe not be there in the long haul. Many men say that this plan can help relieve the threat of inflation for those who need it most.